Hello, 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 and it's a real pleasure to be on air again tonight. My name is Pauline Lehman. I am the founder of Star Reachers Community Initiative. It's a charity based in Manchester, working across Greater Manchester and in the Northwest, really. But obviously, our reach can extend or expand to the whole, to the entire globe, thanks to technology. People follow us from Africa, from America, from Asia, from all over the world. So thank you for joining. To those who are just joining, I say thank you for joining and welcome to today's live stream. So I was just talking about Star Reachers. Our mission is to raise aspirations for young Black children and break the cycle of Black people underachievement in education, as well as promoting the well-being of African and BME children and their families. And the reason why I'm passionate about this is because I am fed up, and I'm sure you're fed up too, of all the negativity surrounding our children. You know, I say that over and over again. It's something I cannot overemphasize because I want us all to catch that vision and to really have this anger within us about over the negativity around our children and around us as a community. You know, I believe that as together as a community, we can change the story of our, our community within this part of the world, because I believe that we are not second class. Our children have ability. Our children are gifted. They are talented. They have ability and they can achieve anything that they set their minds to. But I also believe that parents play a very, very important role in helping children achieve their potential in school and achieve success. The parents influence the children's mindset and just everything. The parents' role is crucial. And so this charity's role really is to not just blame and see everything wrong the government is doing or not doing to support the community, but to see how we as parents, we as a community can do our own part, so that as the government tries to do their own part, then we can actually see some massive success. I believe that the role of raising up children, of helping children succeed, does not lie in the hands of the government. It is our role as parents. We have brought them into the world, so it is our responsibility. Thank you for all those who've joined so far. So I have some really exciting news. I'm sure you've seen it already on Facebook, but I'm going to say it again anyhow because it's really exciting for me. It's a real honor and privilege that Star Reachers Community Initiative was shortlisted, for the National Diversity Awards. It's a prestigious award that recognizes the contribution and the dedication of communities and people, in terms of improving, communities and different parts of society. So we are very, very privileged, and it's thanks to you. I want to say a thank you directly to you for your votes. We had almost 400 votes, and the comments that you left were really, really substantial. And I do believe that these all contributed, thanks to God, to us being shortlisted. And so we're looking forward to September, where the actual awards will be given. There are 8 in this category and 1 will be selected. So I leave it all in God's hands. But in any way, I am really, really proud and thankful to God for this great opportunity. Now, in today's show, we're going to be talking about the mindset of entitlement. How can we help our children break free from the mindset of entitlement? So that's what we're going to be talking. Thank you, Vera, for joining us. Thank you so much for your kind comments. How can we break free from the mindset of entitlement? Now, I'm sure you're going to be wondering how I come up with these topics. I work with parents on a one-to-one. I do a lot of public speaking, workshops and seminars, for parents, empowering them to understand the educational system, empowering them to choose positive parenting options. So when I go into these communities and I'm doing this work, parents have lots of questions. And that is what leads me to come up with these topics, because I believe if 1 or 2 parents are asking that questions, there are other parents who may also be going through the same struggle. So the mindset of entitlement, a couple of parents have spoken to me about the challenge they have, especially with the teenagers, who want designer shoes, designer handbags. Maybe in school, their classmates have designer handbags, and that kind of thing. And they feel that the children are pressuring them, to buy these things for them. And they are not quite sure what to do, whether if they deny or they don't give the children what they want, the children will feel, have low self-esteem and that kind of thing. So there are lots of questions that parents ask around this kind of issue. And that is why I thought we should tackle it today. So what is entitlement really? Entitlement is about a child or a teenager or even an adult. To be honest with you, in the country where we live in, there are a lot of people who feel the government owes them virtually everything, So it is a mindset whereby people feel they are owed everything. So they have no contribution to make or very little contribution to make, but they are owed everything. They feel they're entitled to everything. They feel a sense of deservingness. So that is what entitlement is about. It's a bit like something for nothing, where I don't have to do anything. I don't have to make any contribution. I am entitled to it. And how does it manifest itself? We're talking about children here today. It's about children wanting everything and expecting to be given everything. So I want an Adidas pair of trainers or Nike Air or something like that. And they feel, I have to have it, or I want to go out with my friends, or mom has to take me to a party and that kind of thing. So they feel that, they deserve all of that and they don't have to do anything to earn it. And so they react adversely when they don't get what they want. They throw tantrums. They show strong feelings and reactions, when they don't actually have their way. And for me, I believe that when children start to react that way, they are saying in one way that, what is everyone going to do to me today, or do for me today? So they feel that people have to do things for them. And I think that is a big problem. But I think also that, absolutely, especially now that proms are coming up, I think children deserve to be well dressed for proms. Martha, thanks for that contribution. I don't think, they need to look good when they're going for proms. We're talking here about, generally children growing up with this sense of feeling entitled, for, to have everything that they really want. Now, I believe that as parents, we kind of let loose our guards and allow our children to slowly creep into this mindset of entitlement by, for example, giving them everything they want, and sometimes they don't even say thank you. It's hurtful for children to just come. The tone of voice they actually even use to ask. There is no courtesy, there is no please, the magic words, please and thank you. Thank you very much, Joyce, for joining us today. And please, parents, I know we are very, very resourceful. As I share some of these, please do not hesitate to type in your comments. We are all on a learning curve. I always say that the parenting journey is a learning curve. So as I share some strategies, and if you have any that you've used that worked for you, please do not hesitate to type it in so that parents who are joining us now or who would watch the replay can actually benefit from it as well. So when we give our children everything and they don't appreciate it, they don't say thank you, or the manner in which they take it, they don't show they're appreciative. That way we start to nurture the mindset of entitlement. When we do everything for them and we don't expect them to do anything, that way we nurture it also. Or we don't give them consequences for breaking rules. Again, that way they feel, that is how life is, and, can't be bothered. Things just go, we as parents have to dance to their tune, or we give in to their tantrums really easily. By doing that consistently, the child or children start to develop that mindset of entitlement. So, but what is really the problem about this mindset of entitlement? I'm sure you and I know of adults who sit down counting on the government to do everything for them, even to the simplest things as filling in an application form. They need someone to help them to do it. These are people who have not learned to stand on their own, who have not developed resilience, and so they need help from the government. But we don't want, I believe you and I do not want to raise children up who will grow up and be dependent. So what is the problem with entitlement? I have a few that I've listed here. The first is that it keeps kids in an immature state. Really, by failing to take responsibility for their actions, it leaves them within a state of immaturity. Secondly, children like this in school exhibit behavioral problems. They don't get their way, or the teacher doesn't do what they want, or the teacher reprimands them and they throw tantrums and they start to express strong feelings of anger and resentment and that kind of thing. And we do not want our children to grow up feeling that they just get everything, and if things don't go their way, that it is, nothing can work if things don't go their way. Children live in delusion. That's the third one, where they grow up to become adults who expect people to do everything for them. And we end up, number 4, raising up children who are selfish. They're selfish in relationship with their parents, and eventually grow up to be selfish adults. In marriage, it's a give and take, but some people unfortunately feel, okay, it's my way or nothing. The spirit of entitlement groom our kids to be outright lazy. Absolutely. And we see it in society, don't we? Thanks for that contribution, Vera. Children grow up to become ungrateful. They do not appreciate anything in life. And we know the power of gratitude. How by being grateful, it brings about happiness. It relieves people from depression and makes people to live in a stress-free life. Gratitude is so powerful. So when people live an ungrateful life where they don't appreciate anything, that is the first, takes them down the route of depression. And I feel that as Vera rightly says here, that it keeps kids to be, or it makes them to be outright lazy. My 6th point it ties in with that, absolutely, that children grow up not to fulfill their potential, not just in school, at anything. You have an application form to write, you can't be bothered going through the rigors of writing the application form, and so the deadline passes. So it's all about that, just not achieving or maximizing your potential. Yes, Kuko says it's never too early to start teaching kids how to appreciate and to be respectful. Absolutely, I do agree with you, and thank you very much for that. So we're going to be sharing some ideas, and as I said before, if you have anything you'd like to share that you've tried that has worked for you, please do type it in so that everyone else can benefit from it. Now, I want to first emphasize the fact that we shouldn't try to make our kids love us by the things, or gain our kids' love and acceptance by the things we give them. So once our children know that we love them anyhow, regardless of whether we're buying them designer clothes or designer shoes and handbags, then it's easy to kind of get them into this mindset of appreciating and not being entitled. And if you have a teenager who is, who feels entitled already, there might be power struggles, but if you want to start this, but I believe that through a loving relationship and keep reminding them of why we do the things we do for them and how it's going to affect their future lives, I'm sure that they will eventually grasp it and understand it. So here are some suggestions for helping, how you can help your child to break free from the mindset of entitlement. I've got 7 here. Number 1, teach your child that they can't always get everything they want. Now, we see this for younger children. You go to the supermarket, they want to pick the chocolate at the till. They want to pick the sweet. They want to pick the drink. They want to pick everything. Now, it's important. I don't think I just need to let them pick up anything like that. I tell them when I'm going into the store, you can have, obviously, as a treat for coming with me to the store, I always say to them, you can choose one thing only. So if my daughter chooses chocolate and she gets somewhere else and sees sweet, I said, okay, darling, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the chocolate or the sweet? And so let them choose rather than, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. So just get them to, give them that choice. And for teenagers, who might want to go shopping with you, and some parents just feel very scared of going shopping with their teenagers, but when I go shopping with mine, I tell them what the budget is. So it's important that you give them a budget so that they know whatever you want to choose, you are within your budget. That is it. So that is number 1. So they can't always have everything, and share your life stories with them, how sometimes you want, this nice pair of shoes for this party coming, or dress for this party coming, but you can't afford it now, so you're not going to buy it. Just so that children know that it's not just us putting it on them, but that we too have to be able to exercise this delayed gratification, when we cannot afford certain things. Number 2, teach them to say please. I've seen children just come, and some children can be really, really harsh. Come and demand things from their parents without a please, and it's so surprises me. How could you let that happen? We need to teach them to say please. That's part of courtesy. That's part of manners that will be expected of them when they become adults. So the earlier we start to teach them, don't give them those expectations of adult living, the better it will be, or the better the outcome would be for these children. So Martha says, writing a shopping list may be according to your budget. Absolutely. Very true there, Martha. Next, teach them to appreciate everything they receive. So whatever you give them, they need to say thank you. If you go, you want to buy them a mobile phone, they need to learn to appreciate the things you give them. Nothing is given to anybody for nothing. And I think that with children, we keep reminding them about the realities of life. In real life, this is what happens. Let's share our stories. When we go out to work, the challenges we meet, let's come and share with them. Children learn a lot from stories and life experiences than from actually sitting down and just teaching them formally. So let's share with them, how appreciation, has a powerful role, or how you thank somebody for doing something little for you and the effect it had. In that way, children eventually learn really well. Number 4, let's let them earn some things you give them, especially for teenagers. Teenagers feel they deserve all those expensive things. So they need to earn some of the things. For me, I love to reward initiative. And I give my children pocket money, okay, which I expect them to save some. But then when they take initiative, okay, for doing extra housework, I also get them to do house chores. I don't pay them for it, but I just give them pocket money just to start to help them to learn to manage their money. But if a child, gets up one day or comes back from school and does something without being asked, I reward them for it by giving them extra money, or by saying, okay, I'm going to pay a bit more money into your account, and that kind of thing. So they need to learn to earn some things. That's number 4. Number 5, give them responsibility. Now, I don't know about you, but I believe that we we grew up, even as Africans, with the mindset of learning skills, basic skills for life as we go through adolescence, so that when we become adults, we would have the skills that we need to be able to live an independent life. So if you have children, you need to start to get them involved in house chores. My young ones, you get them to do age-appropriate chores, and as they become teenagers, we get them involved in more and more house chores. We can't just do it all for them. I've seen parents who wash for the children, cook for them, do everything for them. You are not helping your child. They need to take responsibility, because that is real life. In real life, nobody does everything for you. Number 6, I said it already, actually. I mentioned it in one of the other points I made. I said here, avoid doing everything for them. Give them chores and reward them for taking initiative. So that is really important. And number 7, get them to make monetary contributions to the stuff they want to buy. So if you want to go for an expensive pair of trainers, and I'll ask you to make a contribution from your pocket money. Number 1, I would say, okay, this is what my budget is. If you can top up the rest and pay, that is fine. So whatever it is they want to do that is beyond my budget, I get them to make a contribution for it. You may have your own formula that works for you, but for me, that is what I do. That way, they are encouraged to save money. So all the pocket money you give them, they don't use it on sweets and chocolates. In fact, since I got my children, I opened them a bank account, which is a good thing. If you have children from 11 years old, you can actually open them a bank account. And once you start to put money in there, you know, when you go to shopping and they want ice cream, say, oh, you've got your money, go buy the ice cream. I say, no, mom. So they don't want to spend their money on things that they would normally want you to spend on. So let's get them to learn how to manage their finances by either opening up a bank account for them, you know, once they're 11 or 12, or giving them pocket money and teaching them about saving, because sometimes you might need money and you don't have it. But if you're saving, then it's going to help you and that kind of thing. So make them to make a contribution. Don't just give them everything that they want. So I've shared 7 things here. I'm going to run through the 7 things. If you've got any questions or if you have any contributions, please type it in so that we can all benefit from it. Vera says, Pauline, is it possible to bring up children who have the spirit of entitlement if we as parents don't have the same attributes? Absolutely true. Vera, like mother, like children. So if you, the parents, sit down at home, you don't work, and you're relying on the government to give you everything. I know in some cases, some people really need to rely on the government. I wouldn't say, you know, people are just, you know, using the system, you know, that way. But some people are truly in a situation where they have to rely on government benefits and that kind of thing. But if you are, you know, healthy and you don't go to work, you sit down at home, but then you can afford everything, then the message you're telling your child is that, yes, you can do nothing and have something. Vera, that is an amazing point. Thank you very much for that contribution. I fully agree with that. So it all stems from parents. As I said before at the start of this program, that 90% of how our children turn out depend on us. So please, I'll run through again. Teach your children that they can't have everything they want. So don't let them pick up everything from the supermarket shelves, okay? Tell them what they can have, okay? And what, you know, or how many things they can have and what you can't let them have. Number 2, teach them to appreciate the things they receive. They need to say, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom. When we take our kids on holidays, they say, thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. When we go out for a meal, they say, thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Yes, going out for a meal is part of, you know, a family bonding time, but then we've taught them to appreciate everything. You know, I appreciate my husband. He appreciates me too. So let's get it into our culture as a family. Number 3, ensure that they say, please. Don't just let a child come and speak to you in a really rude tone of voice, demanding things. Yes, if they want to go to a party, they want you to take them there, and they've been rude and uncooperative, then you tell them, sorry, you know, you don't deserve it. I tell my children that I owe to send you to school, to give you food, to give you clothes. Everything else is a bonus. So the main things, basic necessities, they need to understand that's what you're going to give them. Everything else is a bonus and they need to earn it. So you can't have a rude child demanding things and you yielding to it. Number 4, they need to earn some of the things you give them. Number 5, you need to give them responsibility, helping them to become resilient people who actually make a contribution. I teach my kids that in our home, we work as a team. Yes, I don't cook because I'm the only one eating. So you can't tell me you're not going to tidy up the worktop because you didn't mess it up. So that is not acceptable. We work as a team to make things work. Number 6, avoid doing everything for them. And number 7, give them or get them to make a monetary contribution towards their luxuries. That applies to teenagers who a lot of parents have expressed concerns that the teenagers put pressure on them. So if that is your case, you know, get them to make a monetary contribution. And once they start to contribute, they will start to value money. They'll start to know that you actually have to work to earn money. And if you have older teenagers, you know, encourage them to start to do voluntary work, to start to do, you know, shifts here and there, you know, from the time they maybe they go to college. Yes, they can start to work. They're of age to start to do some work. That way they will start to appreciate the things that we give them and not sit down and hope that everything will just come to them. So I've come to the end of the show. That's all I wanted to share with us. Martha says, I believe giving children chores or tasks to complete gives them it gives them some sense of responsibility. Even get them to plan projects. I had this year, we did my daughter's 7th birthday. And for that, I asked my older daughters, 2 of them, to plan that birthday. And I told them, we're having this number of children. These are the activities we're going to do. The ones I ordered for them to do, some cooking, and, they were meant to make pizzas and so on. So the children planned it. And I said, wow, you are project managers. And it went on so smoothly. So that is part of raising up leaders. We can't allow to let our children sit down and we do everything for them. We are not raising up leaders. Children who will grow up and make a positive contribution in society. So thank you very much for all your contributions. I do appreciate the time you've spent with us today. If there are no more questions or contributions, I'm going to have to leave us here today. I hope it's been helpful. And if there's any parent of a teenager or maybe even younger children you feel are struggling with this aspect, please feel free to share the video with them. Once again, thank you very much and have a lovely weekend. Until next week, bye-bye and God bless you.